What's up, Raza? Here we are today at the Lowrider Podcast by Streetlow Magazine. I'm your host, Gilbert Chavez. And today we're going to talk a little bit, something different about, it's not about lowriding, but it has a lot to do with our people and just people in general. And today I have two special guests with me. One everybody knows, Teleku.
What's up?
And we have
Gorilla.
So it's like I said, it is a little bit different. You know, we usually talk about the history of lowriding and stuff like that, but it's kind of, we're going to talk about the history of our people, you know, about what's going on right now on the streets with this whole political thing. Our new president that's out there causing Hammett, you know, talking out of his left rear. I mean, it's just some crazy shit going on, but and a lot of people are getting affected by it. Companies and just a lot of people. A lot of people are getting affected, and our own people are getting affected. And we're always a target for some reason. It happens every time a certain president or a certain person comes in, whether they think they're doing good to the economy or good to the people or trying to make other people happy. And in reality, you know, you got to make all of us happy, not just certain people, you know. But, you know, so I brought these guys in to talk a little bit about what's going on. I know you guys were at
There was a rally.
the rally in San Jose.
Yeah, there was a rally on Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, I ran in with Leku and
That was the 31st of January.
yeah.
Student walkout.
It originated. It was a student walkout, kind of what we were talking about. You know, what was real powerful for me was, you know, I received a phone call, and the phone call was about there was an organized student walkout, and this was not adult driven. It was completely from the students and from the youth. And this was over at Overfeld High School.
Right.
Interesting enough, during the phone call, there was a conversation, and the principal was in support of the students and their activities, and helping them protect their amendments and their constitutional rights.
For sure.
And but what concerns, I think, adults and other folks and him himself, I'm not going to speak for him, but I could understand, you know, why we had that conversation. You know, he's the principal.
Right.
And he's still legally responsible for these students.
Correct.
So if these students were going to plan something and whatever this something may be, walking off the school, he's still legally liable and responsible for these students. Right. So it was a student walkout, again, driven by the youth. And the students were going to, leave the classroom, they were asked as long as they stay on campus until a certain time. And then after this certain time, they will be escorted as they walk out, because it's not like we were leading them. These youth were walking out. They had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
They had a plan. And they were met with, there was an activist out there. I'm pretty sure a lot of folks know her, Flor in Spanish. Flor in Spanish. She was with the youth. And sure enough, when I got there, you know, the students were already yelling and screaming and cheering out there in the quad, and you can hear some activists and you can hear the students, and a lot of flags were flying, and you know, you can hear different students getting on the mic and just really talking about why they're there. Right. And I think that was pretty important because, again, you know, this was youth driven, and for me, I understand that the most powerful fear that was happening was, of course, this is all over immigration, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
That's what's happening here. And a lot of the students there at Overfeld are born here in the United States.
Right.
Like myself, I'm first generation born in the United States, but my parents, they're from Mexico.
Yeah, like mine. Exactly. Yep. First generation.
You know, and I can kind of share that drive and that passion with them about why I would want to be part of this immigration protest, right? But, you know, I just want to be clear that, you know, if I was to be part of a immigration protest, I would like it for a purpose. I think me and Tlek talk a little bit about that, and what does that purpose look like? We might get into that a little bit.
Right.
Like what's what's more what is going to be appropriate to help the people get to where we need to go, right, at the end of the day. But anyhow, students rallied out in the campus, and then they just started walking out, right? So a lot of folks, I have a little bit of experience in leading the pack, right? Organizing. I get a lot of that experience from the union. I'm a union organizer for AT Local 265.
Right.
And, so we kind of know how to understand how to move the people in the right direction, right? So for here, we were working with the youth. We definitely wanted to keep them off the street. We wanted to keep them on the sidewalk. So, we started marching down the road. We had some cars on the left side on the street, and then we had the students walking on the sidewalk, and they were walking with their signs, and they were screaming, and they were chanting. And then, by the time we get to King Road, we make a right on King Road. As soon as we made that right on King Road, I remember maybe about, correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw about 10 San Jose police officers on motorcycles, and they came real fast, man, and they started blocking off streets. So it kind of looked like they were late for the show.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like they were late for the show, but they were there, and they started blocking up the streets, surprisingly. So they were there also to protect and support. To protect and support, right? It's the youth.
Right.
And as we were going nice and slow, the streets, all the rest of the streets, all the way up to Story Road started getting blocked. So we ended up taking the students all the way to the corner of King and Story, or Story and King. And we were met with some other protesters there that were just waiting for the students. And I think, they were there for how long, Tlek? I ran into you right there on the street.
Well, I had to be at work, so I stayed till about like 4:00. But I know they were there till shoot.
Yeah, I don't know.
All day, all night.
Yeah, they were there for a long time.
I mean, because it started at the walkout, right, was at 2, right, and then they met up right there on King and Story at 3. At 3:00, it was jumping, and it was.
But were the people? They were speaking out there or just hanging out. Because I know when you do protesting and you're going out, there's a reason. Like I said, it's the immigration, and you got to give it up to SJPD for being out there helping protect.
Sure.
As they should, and being part of it. That's kind of like it just tripped me out that you said that they came out instead of, trying to stop it. Like usually back in the days they would do something like that. They're part of the whole immigration thing, and you got to give it up to also the city of San Jose, our mayor, and even our what do you call it? All the politicians in office. They're against this whole immigration thing. Like I said, I understand. I understand what the immigration, what they're trying to do to weed out the criminals and stuff like that. But the way they talk, or the way our president's talking with harsh words, calling us aliens and stuff. Well, he's an alien as well, because look at the way he looks. Right.
Right.
But that's all of us. I'm not doing it just to disrespect him, but I'm just kind of like that. Kind of pissed me off calling us aliens, or anybody aliens, as that, because we're all immigrants to this world.
Right.
Not to this world, to this land, we're immigrants. And like I was telling you guys earlier too, America isn't a race. It's a birthplace, made of different immigrants. If you could spell out what America stands for, every letter would stand for a race or or a different origin of a person that came onto this world or onto this continent. But, that to me kind of bothered me. And a lot of things that he's said and done and has bothered me, and it sucks because we're tied in there, man. Us as lowriders that we are, we're tied into this system, and then it's going to affect all of us. It's going to affect all of us because he's not just, to me, like I was telling you guys earlier, I think there's a bigger agenda. We're just a huge amount of people that occupy the United States. We're like the majority, so it affects all of us.
Right.
But I think there's a bigger agenda, and because we're so big, we're okay. Let's do let's create this distraction while we're doing something else. Like kind of like what you were talking about. It's a distraction.
A diversion. It's a diversion, and I kind of share that with you too.
Right.
I wanted to go back. What were people saying? You kind of asked what people were saying. There was some protesters that were out there. We even had some folks here holding signs that, say, hands off Haitian immigrants, right? Or hands off Colombianos or Venezuelans. There was a lot of different folks from different Latino origins that were there, that were protesting. And I think to each their own. I think, I was there for my own purpose and my own reason. Right. I was there because I was definitely proud to be asked by the community to come and help. Right. And just by nature, Gil, that's just who I am. And I'm not afraid to stand up for the people that can't stand up. Right. So I don't live in fear.
And people that don't know who Gorilla is, he's been a big help to our actual car shows, Streetlow Magazine car shows. He's been a big help. He's always there, always giving us a helping hand and protecting us too, because there's a lot of corrupt people that try to do crooked things to us or do things to us that he's always there, kind of like helping us out. Well, he runs also a security company as well.
Right. Thank you, Gilbert.
So he does a lot of good things for the community and for people. So that's it and done. I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest.
Quick plug. So what's the name of what's the name of the security company?
Gorilla Security.
How can they get a hold of you if they want to?
Instagram. You can get me on Beepers143. You can see me in the streets. You can see me at all the events.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
So if you guys need
see him on a golf cart everywhere.
You see him on a golf cart.
That's right. Well, no, but the trip that you're talking about different races, because Flavio here, we were talking about the immigration thing, and he was telling me, Flavio's from Brazil, and he was telling me that there was airplanes being sent to Brazil as well with immigrants. 2 or 3 of them,
Right. Well, I don't know if you heard, even in El Salvador, right? So Uncle Donald Trump, he made an agreement with the president, having El Salvador as a sanctioned country, so they're going to be shipping migrants. I don't call them immigrants, because first and foremost, I think we need to get our terms right. So if definition of an immigrant is one that's not from here, right? Well, our people have been from here. We have migration, right? Migration is being able to walk through the land.
Right.
An immigrant, you got to get on a boat and come across.
Correct.
So, I'm not trying to, say anything other than the real immigrants are European, which I have European blood.
All of us
do.
What I mean? All of us do. It's a mixture.
But
So in better words, all these words should be just thrown out. Immigrant, migrant, anything. Just people of the earth.
Well, we are people of the earth, right? I mean, if you were to go back to, and this even goes to the people in Europe, right? Their definition, their language of what they called themselves is always the people.
Right.
The Celtics, it was the people, the Germanic tribes. They always called themselves, and if you did the translation, it was always the people.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is we need to get rid of these terms, right? If we keep calling yourself immigrant, then now you're agreeing to whatever labels that they have given us, right?
Well, they do that for power. They do that for power.
Well, that's what happened in the 80s with Reagan. They started calling us Hispanics, right? It was all for political reasons, right?
Correct.
And getting back to this whole, that's the magician's gift, is you're watching what the left hand's doing, but you don't see what the right's doing.
Right.
It's all about distraction, right? So there's a lot of things that are coming in the back end that we don't see. They just show us, hey, we need to create this diversion because this is what we're doing. And it's division, right? It's all about division. That's why the imaginary borders. That's why
conquered.
Right. That's why we have countries, which is actually corporations. I don't want to go too deep, but
you went there. You went there, and you went there. No, you went there, Click, and I just want to clarify that, for the term immigrant, right? Like, I'm going to identify myself as an immigrant because I'm putting myself now in the middle of this cause, right? Because like they drew first blood. You can call me whatever you want, and I'm going to be that person, right? Because I'm going to stand up on both feet because I got these both feet. But you're absolutely correct.
Well, I'm not going to call myself. I won't call myself an immigrant because I'm not going to go by their terms. I'm not going to allow them to define who I am. I'm going to say, no, this is who I am.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Well, it's like that T-shirt, right?
Yeah. Well, look at one.
You can't be an immigrant on stolen land either.
Well, that was the flag that I had on my truck. It said, "We are not the immigrants." Right. It was real plain and simple. So I appreciate it. But look, anytime me and Telek see each other, this is what we do.
Yeah, right here. It's right there. Because why? Why do we grab the arm and not the hand?
Trying to reach each other closer.
Yeah, because we love each other, right?
No, because that's a deeper.
The next one's a hug after that.
No, because anytime you can, and Telek's here in front of me. Anytime I see Telec or we see each other, that's exactly how we greet each other.
That's what's up.
That's exactly how we greet each other, because there's a deep understanding. We understand who we are and we know who we are.
Sure.
Yes or no, hermano?
No, that's it.
We see each other.
And it's so. And this is what I had a discussion with Flower named in Spanish, Flor,
yeah,
right?
Flor, yeah.
Well, she goes by Flower in Spanish. That's her handle, her IG handle.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know her as Flor. Yeah. She came into the office years ago.
Yeah.
We talked.
And so it's like, we need to get back our definitions by calling yourself an immigrant. We are allowing them to define who we are.
Absolutely.
Because these borders are imaginary, but they are physical borders now because they have put up the barriers, right? But before then, they ceased to exist. I mean, if you look even in the 20s, the 30s, the border was just a imaginary. You can cross like nothing, right. And going back to just so with that, we need to define ourselves. We need to say, no, this is who we are. We're not immigrants. We're migrants. This has always been our land.
Absolutely.
Right. And so with these countries that have came up to be, even with Mexico, El Salvador, and whatever country, these now to where we are in 2025, right? These are now established countries, which are corporations, and they're all in cahoots with each other.
Right.
Yeah. What does it come down to? It's the powerful, the rich, right?
Yeah.
Keeping control so that we fight amongst ourselves, so that we don't wake up.
Yeah.
So that we don't realize, hey, if we were to band together, we'd be able to flip it because there's more of us than them.
Right.
And that's why they keep this division. That's why they divide us with, class, social,
right.
With skin color.
Well, I have a feeling they do this just to see what we're going to do.
Yeah.
They want to, they throw, like you said, they're going to throw a rock, hide their hand.
Right.
They want to see if we throw the rock back.
Right.
Right. Or we stay shut.
Or what type of crimes are we going to commit while we're trying to peacefully protest, right? And how far are they going to drive?
Well, the laws, to me, the laws are made for them, not for us.
Right.
Because the way I look at it, they made the laws for themselves because they were doing it first. Like I said, I saw a sticker one time. It said, "Don't steal. The government hates competition." Come on, man! Like a lot of the laws that are made because they're doing them already.
Yeah.
Or they've done them before, so okay, now we're going to do it, so they can't do it back to us.
Right.
Yeah. We stole their land, now they can't steal it from us. Now, one subject or one thing I want to bring to you guys is that, like Claudia, the president from Mexico, she needs to make Mexico great. She needs to make it where nobody wants to leave Mexico. Mexico's so beautiful. I don't know if you guys have been out there.
I remember going in the 90s.
No, you got to go now. It's gorgeous, man.
Well,
Puerto Vallarta, Mexico City, Cancun, Tulum.
I remember going to the
Michoacan.
90s.
I mean,
in the 90s, when my family started getting just a little bit more money, and we started buying boats and
you guys always had money.
we were
yachts. Boats are called yachts.
We were at Lake Calero.
We'll call them canoes.
We were at Lake Calero skiing with the güeros, over there, trying to be part of the American dream, But I remember, as a kid, as a youth, we used to drive up to Tijuana, and we would cross over with our RV. And I remember it was such a beautiful, beautiful experience, brother.
Right.
We used to be able to cross into Tijuana, headed to Ensenada, and we would take Highway 1.
Yes.
So it was very scenic and beautiful, and you could be able to stop, and you could just hang out at the beach, put your feet in the water.
Still like that. It's still like that.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, man.
It's beautiful.
Man, there's 4 checkpoints from now. There's 4 checkpoints now from when you're crossing from Tijuana to Ensenada.
Oh, yeah.
And they pull you out of the car. It's a little rough now.
Oh, checkpoints?
Yeah, checkpoents. De los federales.
I know.
And you know what they're looking for?
Well,
we talked about it earlier.
Well, they're looking for anybody that has some kind of
that's a difference. That's a difference whether you take the toll road or the
So you can take the toll road, which is the scenic route one,
right.
the one you got to pay to go through,
right,
or the libre one,
or take the libre one, the one you
and that's the checkpoints.
Yeah. But I mean, to me, it's like Tijuana. I mean, there's pretty parts of Tijuana. There's beautiful parts of Tijuana. There's Playa de Tijuana. You got Rosarito, Ensenada. You got all these, and this is all border. It's a border town. But I've always told. Like my wife, I told her, you know what? Tijuana to me is like Los Angeles. It's a mini Los Angeles, believe it or not, because it's one of the richest cities in Mexico. The border of Tijuana, even though some areas are real poor, but there's a lot of riches there. A lot of riches because a lot of Americans that go there and spend money. The tourism there is insane because they're spending dollars at all times.
Yeah.
But to me, is if the president there can create jobs for people, which there's jobs already, but give them the pay that they deserve as an American.
Sure.
Because they're Americans too. It's South America. So like again, I was telling you guys, America isn't a race. It's the birthplace. Mm-hmm. So they're Americans too. So if they tell you, hey, you're not American, bullshit, I'm a South American. I'm American, regardless. Whatever you think or say, we're Americans too. So how can a poor country be next to such a rich country? Right. Instead of, I think instead of Trump going, hey, you know what, we're just going to go in there and take over and buy. No, why don't you sit down with the president of Mexico and figure out a way to together work to make things better.
Well, that's what just happened with they suspended the tariffs because now she agreed to send the Mexican military
10,000 troops
up to the border to stop the drugs and the illegals, right?
Right, but again, they have to stop producing guns that go into Mexico.
But
they need to stop that.
But it's like what Gorilla said. It's a show, man.
Well, no, it's about money. It's about power. That's all it is.
It's a show.
And it's something that's going to repeat itself over and over and over. But it's going to kind of not stop, but at least make it safe, because Mexico needs to start with the government. They have to start with their policing.
Well, I want to go back to what you just said, Gilbert, because I do kind of agree with you said. Let's make Mexico great again.
Right.
Make it so that the people
feel safe.
Want to stay in Mexico,
right? But you want to feel
it's a proud country. You want to make it proud.
Correct.
I was just in El Paso. I just saw that sign right there. It just reminded me about El Paso. I was just in El Paso about a month ago, and I crossed over the puente over from Isleta, right?
Okay.
That's kind of by speaking
Socorro.
Yeah. Socorro.
I lived in El Paso for 5 years.
I heard. I heard. Yes, I got a lot of family right there. Yeah. And I remember just sitting sitting across the border, and I sat right there at the border, brother. And I'm looking at all the commerce. Yeah. I'm paying attention to the economy.
That shit's coming in, yeah. Hella.
And everything
comes in.
Everything was coming out of Mexico.
Yes.
Everything.
Right.
And nothing. The line to come in.
Nobody.
Truck drivers. Whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well,
nothing is going into Mexico. So I want to agree with you. What's really making people want to?
Okay, so you know what's going on, right? With all them trucks coming in, right?
Tell me.
So China started building factories in Mexico.
Oh, got you.
Because what they're doing is they're getting taxed. If they're bringing them through boats, they're going to get taxed. So why not bring them into Mexico
and truck them over?
No, wait a minute, and have Mexico unwrap them, wrap them real nice, and put a made in Mexico stamp on it.
Orale.
So now they're going in from Mexico. That's why the United States is kind of pissed off. They're like, hey,
right.
What are you guys doing? But hey, we're making extra money.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're making enough, because our people in Mexico aren't getting paid the way they should be getting paid. The police ain't getting paid the way they should be getting paid. That's why there's so much corruption in police. Any time they bust a drug, a cartel, or all that money, where is it going? It should go back into the government, back into the pockets of these guys that are risking their lives, because a lot of police officers, a lot of federal officers, the good ones, because there is corrupt, but there is good ones, are the ones that are getting killed. The ones that are getting killed are a lot of the ones that are good, mixed with the bad ones, but the bad ones, they don't get touched, because guess what? They're part of their crew.
Protected.
And they're getting paid more money than the government's paying them. I mean, the United States, okay, we have corruption everywhere. But at least here they're paying you. They're getting paid, and if you do something wrong, hey, you're going to pay the price too. Right. But at least their family's safe.
Right.
You have to, if something happens to a police officer here, they all band together to fight crime. Whoever shot or killed this cop or a federal agent, they band together.
Well, now we're getting into the capitalistic system, right?
Well, right. Well, I'm just saying, like, Mexico should kind of like
but you need to, in order for this capitalistic system to be sustainable, you need to have less than. It can't be. You're never going to have equal. The capitalist system does not support everyone being on the same level. You have to have someone that's richer and some that are poor, because that's why they say.
Oh, no. But that's something different. No, I understand what you're saying. Because I'm just talking about the. I mean, you want somebody to do a good job, You pay them.
No, you pay
That's
them,
it.
right? But
And protect them.
But as the wages increased, right, just as it is here,
Right,
that's why things are so expensive, right?
Right.
People, in these other countries, they think, oh, I'm going to go to the United States and make all this money, not realizing you come over here, the price of living is more expensive, the rent's expensive. I mean, look, we had what's his name, Chucky. He's down in Tijuana. He moved to Tijuana, right?
Right.
He goes, man, he sent me a picture. He goes, he's like, you want some eggs? 5 dozen eggs for $5. How much is it here? For $20, bro.
Well, it depends where you buy it.
No, it does.
I just bought some yesterday. It was 18 case for $8. Safeway. But anyways, I understand what you're saying.
So it's like the prices.
Right. Well, also, it's kind of funny you said it. I have a friend that said, oh, man, it's beautiful in Cancun. It's beautiful. You could buy a house there for like $3 million right on the ocean. I go, $3 million?
It's crazy.
I go, that's a lot of money, man. I go, you can buy one here for that kind of. He goes, oh no, but Cancun is beautiful. I understand it is beautiful. And you buying a house here for $1 million, and you're buying it in a neighborhood that's it's crummy, But you know what you're buying and you're paying for here? Safety. Because no matter what, if you live in a crackhead area, or it doesn't matter where you live, you're always going to be safe if you're in your home.
Some sort of safe.
Some sort of safe. But if something happens to you, they're going to find the person that did it to you. Sometimes. 90% of the time. In Mexico or in other countries, I'm not just going to say Mexico, in other countries, something happens to you,
swept under the rug.
Yeah.
They pay them off and we're good. We're done. We're cool. That's it. You see, that's what we're paying for here in the United States. And I get that. That's why there's good and there's bad. And there was one thing we were talking about, the American flag. People out there burning it. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we got veterans.
Back to the
We got Chicanos. We got Mexicans that have became citizens that have fought for that flag. And that flag represents not just the racism of others, because there's racism not only in whites, brown, black. There's the racism in a lot of people that want to feel that and want to have that hatred toward another race. Maybe they got their girlfriend taken away some kind of way, or their wives, or they got their job taken away from some other smarter guy just because he was a certain race. They want to become this racist type of person. I understand that in the 60s, 50s, 40s, there was this racism that was really bad because, that was the way they were brought up. But we're in a new society now. California, there's no room in California for that shit. California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Utah, Colorado, or because you know what? This was Mexico, man. In reality, it was. And our people are all through here. You can sit there and say, oh no, I'm a Native American. You're American. You're some kind of indigenous, like all of us. We all have indigenous. Mm-hmm. We all have European in us. We all have everything. Right. And to sit there and say, oh, the hell with the Europeans. Well, guess what, man? We're European too. It comes back to like we can't call each other immigrants or migrants or anything.
We are people
of the earth. That's it.
We come from nowhere else.
That's it. We have different languages, but it's nice to learn different languages. Maybe these languages were meant for battle at one time. So we speak a different language just to battle this guy or whatever.
So with that being said, right? So now you have to really break down like, okay, so it's not about skin color. It's not about where you come from. I mean, we're here now, right? Our people have always been here. And then there's other individuals that have came here that wanted this life because this country, as they call it, a country, has done, but it's taken, right? There's a lot of negative to where we are now. You got to look at the foundation, right? But that's just history, man.
Right.
There is no such thing as good and bad. That's just the way it is, right? Okay. Right. Oh, they say, oh, well, we conquered you. Yeah, well, yeah, we were conquered because you came. The disease wiped out most of the population. Right. Then after the disease, what was left weren't the strong, right? Majority of the strong were already gone. So now you just have a lot of the women, children, just so they decimated, and with the natives, right? They had to take the land, right? And then they put them on reservations, and then they find out that in the reservations they got uranium. So now they're trying to get rid of them again, right? Because it's just the progress, right? It's just progress of history.
It's just what it is.
It's business.
It is business. That's all it is. Yeah. It's nothing personal. It's just business, right? And so now we have to look, because it's no longer, this is what I call it's the system itself, because it doesn't matter. The system doesn't care if you're white, black, brown, orange, green, purple. It's all about what are you doing? Are you going to help the system? Are you for it? If you're against it, right? And that's what the whole system. We go to school, we get indoctrinated. As far as the flag, this is me personally. I can care less. Because that to me represents the system. It's a corporation, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't pledge allegiance to anyone but the Creator. Because that's where the division happens. Oh well, that's why you see the people people are okay. They had the Mexican flag, running. It's like, okay, whatever, but I don't care about that.
Well, there was even conversation today going about the protest today, right? There's a protest. It was another protest that was there was a protest on Saturday.
Today was supposed to be a day without an immigrant, right?
Right, today.
So.
But there was another protest that was youth driven again, and this was at a Lincoln High School today, and it's still kind of going on right now, I think. Right. The students walked out of Lincoln High School. They walked down over to the Matt Mahan's mayor's office. They did kind of like a sit-in until the mayor came out and spoke with them. I believe they were hosted there by a couple of city councils, came out and spoke with them. They were kind of like, on the Friday walkout. It was pretty similar to what happened on Friday. Right. And then they protested down King and Story, or Story and King, whichever you prefer. And then they took the protest down to Target, right there on the corner, and they were stopping production there at Target. And then now I just got a report that they're walking down Story Road from King and Story down. They're headed west down, down on Story. So that's kind of what's happening. But,
so with that being said, right? So today was supposed to be the day without an immigrant, or without migrants, however you want to see it. But I'm gonna go out and say, me personally, I think it's going about it the wrong way. Because
why you say that?
I'm gonna say because today is supposed to be the day of you don't buy nothing, you don't do any commerce with these corporations, right? You don't spend your money. What doesn't matter, because you're gonna stock up either yesterday and then tomorrow you're gonna spend it anyways. It doesn't matter. What needs to happen, and this is what happened in the 40s and the 30s, where our brothers, our black brothers, became prominent. They kept the money in their own in the community, right? So we shouldn't have let's not spend our money with corporations, but let's spend it amongst each other. We keep the cash flow going amongst each other. So that's what should happen.
So if you guys want lemonade, go to Gorilla's house. He's selling lemonades and eggs. Toledo has a bunch of chickens.
Thanks for saying that.
But you know what I'm saying?
But it's true. It's true.
We keep it amongst our, and that's how. Because now it's the system, and what is the system run up? It's just business.
That's right.
It's just business. So, and this is what happened with the African Americans. They became prominent. They at a time that's what they call the Black Wall Street, and that's when they came and they bombed. They destroyed Black Wall Street, and that's because the African Americans were becoming powerful.
Right.
They didn't need the outside economics. They didn't need the money from the quote unquote the whites, and that's where we were. That's where how we should be. We need to come together and funnel each other's resources together.
Right.
And that's where the power is. It's money.
You got $5? How do you get?
Sure.
Don't let Gilbert money.
Don't let Gilbert money. He ain't gonna get it back.
I had got some phone calls today and some text messages like, "Hey, girl, I'm so confused. I don't know what I'm gonna do about what about today." I said, "Listen, a lot of stuff is driven on social media, and it's really easy to read and to try to adapt and try to attack in, but." Today I had a visit from my son today, right? He came. He's in college locally, but he wanted to have dinner with me. And I'm still going to support the people, right? If we're going to go out there and scream, that's what I'm going to go out there and scream with y'all, right? Because that's just who I am. And but I said, mijo, today is don't spend your money day, right? Just like kind of like what you said. And then but I said, this is what we can do, to each their own, right? Like I had somebody tell me, "Hey, girl, I don't know what I'm going to do today, man." I'm saying, you do what your heart really tells you what to do, man. For you and your family, pretty much. And support how you can. If you have to go to work, then you go to work, right? But you don't have to go and spend money at a corporation where it's not going to impact the Latino community or forsake, right? What you feel. Yep. So, I told Mijo today, I said, a little educational piece. Find out where Latino owned restaurant is, and let's go spend our money there. Kind of like you said,
Exactly.
we're keeping the money in the community.
Yep.
So we're doing two things. We're still supporting the community. We're still supporting the cause, and we're keeping the money in house, just like you said. So it was that easy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
right,
so
right.
you know, it's just a little.
That's what needs to happen, right? And that's where that's where they'll see, like, okay, because if we are the majority, and we have buying power, as they call it, because our money is power. Unfortunately, in this system, right?
We've helped build.
Well, I mean,
America, man.
Well, if you want to,
we're big consumers too.
Real quick history lesson, right?
Okay.
The American-Mexican War, because that's what I call it, right? Because America, the United States, it's the United States and Mexican War. They're the ones that instigated it with Texas, right?
Right.
Then all of a sudden, right, 1848, right, the Treaty of Hidalgo, which a lot of people, they don't, Guadalupe, the treaty which stated that everybody that was within the borders that were Mexico, now the United States, are citizens, right? Yeah. That's gone, right? Because it was all about literacy. Right. You know, your people have been on this land for generations. We didn't have contracts because this whole place is on contracts. So now they came and said, oh, well, I own this land. Where's your paperwork? Our people are like, we don't have paperwork. Oh, okay, get out.
Right.
But real quick, 1848 was over. What happened in 1849? Do you know what happened in 1849 in the Sierra Mountains?
Tell me.
The gold rush. Where was that gold at?
California.
Mexico. Where was it before?
Mexico.
Yeah. So exactly, Gilbert.
It's about money.
It's about money. The gold was always ours, and it funded to where we are now.
San Francisco 49ers.
Exactly. That's why they're called.
That's it. Sure.
Right? And just a little quick, you know, that, and that's
San
where
Francisco 49ers. That's right.
And that's where Joaquin Murrieta, the 7 Joaquins, you know, they were the ones that were against all the landowners. They were the ones against, the 49ers. They fought against them, you know, and so it's all.
That's not right.
So I'm sitting in the
not against the 49ers, bro.
Going back
to anybody else, but not the 49ers.
Going back to supporting today's, what was on social media. Yeah. So I'm sitting with my son and my lady over at one of the Mexican taquerias, and downtown was empty. Earlier today, it was real. It really was. I was driving down San Pedro. San Pedro was like almost closed down. I think there was one maybe place that was kind of open, had the lights.
Felt like the epidemic.
Man, yeah. Coming home today from work, coming from Campbell, and I only went to work today because I'm a union delegate. People know who I am, right? So I fight for the rights of working people. So my work does not fucking stop, right? And I'm gonna stand up and fight for the working class any fucking day of the day. Right. Any, doesn't matter. So, and we're in the middle of contract negotiations. So I get over to the union hall, hang out, do a couple of little things. I head back. So usually about 3 o'clock coming back from Campbell on 280, it was packed. Today it was kind of empty, man. I was like, man, is something going on? Is something happening? Okay, it's cool. But, I get to my dinner, and while I was sitting in that little taqueria, I saw a little Mexican lady, and she kind of greeted us. She was really nice. We started talking. And, it was kind of, strange because she was just sitting there. She wasn't eating. She was just sitting there minding her business. She was showered. She was dressed really nice. So she wasn't like she was homeless and she wasn't doing anything. So, we started conversating because I'm a real social person. And, she tells me that she has 3 kids at home. They were born here in the United States. Mm-hmm. But she's not. And she's really scared. Yeah. And she doesn't want to be home because she understands kind of what's happening, because she sees the TV, she sees the news, she sees that ICE is coming and they're raiding and they're just walking into places, and put a lot of fear in her, man. So I guess that she felt, whatever it's worth to come where a place that was open and just sit there. And, so we just started talking a little bit more, and, she shared her story with me, and it was pretty powerful, man. But, I started, señora, si conoce sus derechos, right? Do you understand your rights? Even what's happening? Do you know your rights? And and she flipped over her cell phone case, and then she must have found a card that we're passing out a bunch of cards out there. It says, hey, if ICE comes, this is what you could do. It has all your rights. And she had it flipped over, and she goes, "Estoy listo, mijo. Estoy listo, mijo." So the word is getting out, right? Like what people can do, going back to the protest, going back to what's happening out there. Right. There's a lot of organizations that are helping people, right? There's a lot of organizations out there helping them.
But you hit it though. It's the fear.
It's the fear.
It's the fear, right? That's
It's the
why.
fear.
That's why when I saw a video. This white guy, but it wasn't even an officer or nothing. Just straight pulled someone over, and was like interrogating them. Like, oh, where are you from? Oh, you're not even from here. And then took the keys out of the ignition. And says, oh, you're being deported. You're gonna get deported.
When was this?
It was circulating on the internet. I saw it.
Really? But I'm saying, where was this at?
I want to say somewhere in the Southwest. I don't know. I don't know exactly where. But even like what's going on right now, I don't know if you know what's happening in Boise, in Idaho, which is outside. And just FYI, ICE, Homeland Security, only has 100-mile from the. So that's called Homeland Security because they're supposed to. They
have a jurisdiction.
They
got a state.
Well, yeah. This is a state. It's not federal land. This is state land.
Right.
So
but they have
the ones that are powerful here. The most powerful identity here in the state of California are the sheriffs.
Yeah.
They got more power than any cop, any federal agent, anybody. Is the sheriff.
Any cop, it didn't matter what law enforcement, they all took me to the same place, jail.
Really, right? Yeah. No, yeah, right? No, that's true. No, but what I'm saying is if ICE comes in,
yeah.
The sheriffs could tell you, you know what, you guys got to leave.
Right.
Yeah, because they got jurisdiction.
Yeah, they're the only ones that can pull them out of here, man.
Yeah.
And even the courts, these aren't federal courts. These are all state courts.
Right.
And they do federal hearings there.
Right.
Which they don't have jurisdiction for.
So with that, they only have 100 miles from the coast inland.
Right.
Is their jurisdiction.
Right.
Right now in Idaho, Boise, Idaho, they're afraid because ICE is going around in Idaho.
Like, what are they doing, man? Like why
it's fear. It's fear.
No, but what's wrong with them?
Well,
they need to do their homework, man. Really, they need to do their homework. Sit down. Are you guys lazy? Is ICE lazy?
I mean, well, I think there's two things going on here, Gilbert. To talk about to continue to talk about the protest. I think what most of the folks are protesting out there in the street right now is because I was on site. Is they're protesting ICE coming into our community and just shaking down whoever they think looks like the partner who they need to get. That's whatever that may be. Right?
Are they lazy?
And they
need to do their homework. They need to sit there. Pick the real criminals that have done crimes, not stole a candy bar.
Right.
A real crime. Somebody that is a murderer or somebody that's really doing something. Go after those guys.
Well, it's the whole.
Are they scared?
Oh no, it's the whole. You know what? I'll do now and I'll ask later.
Yeah,
right. But
you know what I mean?
Gilbert,
they even picked up Native Americans, tribals. They round them up too.
Right.
Just because we all look the same. You know what I mean?
We're all the same.
We are the same, right?
We're all Mexicans, no matter what.
Well,
Mexicans. Sorry, we're all
people.
We are not the illegals. Like,
even but that's what I'm saying. Terms illegal. No one's getting back to that.
Yeah.
Nobody's illegal on stolen land.
Right.
Period. Right.
That's right.
You can't be illegal. Right.
That's right.
Right.
But what it's causing is fear. It's causing this division because it's the system, man. It's this. It's like I'm just gonna put it out there. It's like the same thing, with Nazi Germany. Those SS soldiers, they were just following orders. They were just following orders. They were drones. That's all they were drones.
Right.
And that's what these are, right? And what's worse is when you get your own people that look like you with the badge. All of a sudden, they got this complex of
they gotta prove themselves.
So
they got to I'm gonna.
So how
damn beaner.
So like a discussion that I heard that I was involved in earlier today. So like going back to the burning of the flag, right? So we were talking about what really works during this protest and what's not working. And I thought about that for a little bit, and I said, I think how are we gonna combat fear? How are we gonna get that fear out of our innermost souls? Right?
Knowledge, man.
Thank you. Education, teaching, educating, right? Having conversations,
beating them with love,
right? Letting people know.
Let me in jail too.
Watch out.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like doing it with peaceful, educate yourself.
Right.
There's
and if we're tired of seeing not our skin or our people that look like us in power, well then we need to educate them to be there.
Gilbert,
we need to get more of our people in office.
There's nothing more powerful than an individual who has been empowered through education, right, and knowledge. I'm sitting back at the board, going back to the border at El Paso, and I'm sitting there, right? And I went back and forth like 4 times. I crossed back and forth, and then finally he stopped me. I'm walking. The La Miglas, they, on this side said, "Hey, why are you going back and forth so much today?"
Because I could do it.
You know what I said? No, you know what I said, Gilbert?
Right, what you said?
Because I fucking can.
Right.
That's why.
That's
I
right.
fucking can.
That's right.
Right? Because I'm supposedly an American citizen, right?
Right.
And I can go back to Mexico and get a taco or whatever the fuck I want to do, and then come back to the United States as many fucking times as I can. But because I know my rights, right?
Right.
Conozco mis derechos.
Right.
Right? And ain't nobody can take that from me, right?
That's right.
Just like how they say, once social injustice has taken place, it can never be reversed.
Right.
Well, it's just the same as you educate an individual. It can never be reversed. He can no longer be dumb again.
So I'm a Mexican, not a Mexican.
So my point is, educate yourselves.
That's right.
Well, and that's where us, that's our duty to educate our children, so that when they go to the school system, they don't become indoctrinated.
And I really appreciate what you said, like about identifying yourself to a certain term or a certain word.
That's right.
I really appreciate that, man. I really do, man.
And getting back to the flag, and I understand, right? The flag means a lot of things to different people, right? Because we've had our own people that went to war, that fought for this so-called country, where this country doesn't care about us, right? Because if you really go back down to it, who are the fighting forces? It's the poor, right? It's it's not the senator sons, it's not the elite sons. If anything, they're the generals. They're the brass that is just ordering who's in the front line. It's all of us. It's the poor. It's the poor fighting the poor.
Right.
They can care less, right? And I feel bad for these individuals that have given up their life, have in their mind they thought that they were standing for something, when in fact it was just all a fallacy. It was all nothing but lies. So now they come back home and we don't care about you. Thank you for your service.
Right.
Here you go, little. If you need help, hey, you can call us. Stand in line. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like what we're doing now. Like in the middle, like I said, I'm the union organizer, right? We're fighting for the laborers' wages and fair living, right? I say it all the time. I'm not going to say the agency, but I say it all the time. This agency don't care about us. You're indispensable. They will let you die in that seat, right? Because I come from a transportation agency, so I'll just leave that there. They don't care about us.
We're just a number.
They don't give a shit about us.
It's just a number, and
it's business.
It's just business. That's why our children need to be in school every day, because they get money from the state, they get money from the federal government.
Right.
As long as your child is in that seat, right? That's what the whole Bush's leave no child behind bunch. It was a bunch of BS. No, they wanted to have those seats filled because that's where the money comes in. That's where the budgeting. I mean, it's business. Budgeting, it's like here.
Well, I mean, one thing I kind of agree but disagree is that you say America doesn't care, but we are America, and the flag is built on immigrants. It's not just a one-sided flag. That flag is built on immigrants, man. It's more, that flag belongs more to the immigrants that come here and work hard to make it proud. I mean, I've seen like migrants that have came here, worked their ass, and they're proud to be here.
Well, yeah,
they don't want to go back to their countries because there's killings, there's murders. Their country has let them down.
Well, this is the land of opportunity,
right? But you can't sit there and say, "Oh, we're going to burn the flag," or you know what, America. But it ain't America. It's individuals that are speaking, and us. We voted for this guy, but now we don't. Well, what the hell? We vote for who, or we vote for them, or for, now we're seeing the light of that person.
Well, the vote.
So no, but you know what I'm trying to get at. I know where you're at. Where you're saying, America, it's white America, but it's not.
It's not white America. What I'm talking about, it's the system. Right. The system has no color. The system doesn't care
because there's different people running it. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. It's the president just I'm gonna pass this law that it's not gonna happen. Right. I heard he wants to change the Constitution. It ain't gonna happen. If you're not, because the Constitution says if you're born in America, which is any America, I think. Right. But if you're born here in the United States, you're automatically a citizen.
Right. Yeah.
You can't change that. Because if he changes that, then he's going to have to leave too.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like all of us.
And that's what, Santa Clara County, they filed a lawsuit against the United States government and Donald Trump because, he's attempting to change the path to citizenship, right?
Right.
So Santa Clara County, they promoted, they just made it public awareness that they were, I don't know if we were going to be the first ones, but we filed as a county a federal lawsuit to challenge Donald Trump's path to citizenship because it's constitutional, just like you said.
Right. I mean, you want to be a good president. You want to be a good president. Be for the people.
Well,
people, not people.
You got to look at who is this guy? Who is this? He's an actor, right? He's an actor, right? And he's an actor, and he's exactly right.
It's just people that have lived life. Really,
Gilbert,
that's really who they are.
You know how I look at the presidential, election and campaign. And kind of how I see it. As a political labor organizer. There's a balance. It's kind of if that's what I want to say. There's a balance because it's sometimes there's Democrats they win. Right. And then sometimes Republicans win. Could you imagine if it was just all Democrats forever or all Republicans forever? I want to say that that's the beauty of where we stay, right? There's there's a freedom of democracy of some sort. Right?
And that's what a lot of countries don't have.
And I can get, what the neck was saying when he says the system don't care because I've been locked up in a system.
Right.
And I know that I wasn't a name anymore. I was a number.
That's why they give you the PFN number, you get your CDC number.
And I remember, the last time the last time I was incarcerated, right? Don't nobody fall out their seats, but I was incarcerated and I remember getting off that bus, man, and I remember making a decision, right? Just want to plug in, January 29th, I celebrated 19 years clean, right?
There you go.
Clean,
Congratulations.
Clean,
Congratulations.
Free from everything. And but I remember the system. Look at what the system tries to do to you.
Yeah.
Just going back, what you're saying, Tilek, is
but look what it did to you.
Yeah, I changed, right? I took it and I made
so you can use the system as bad or good. And like you said, the system's made for a certain reason.
Right.
So if they made the system to break you down and make you a better person, well, they did a good job.
Right.
Because now you're a good man.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. And,
right.
And I do. And I accept that.
Right. And that's, I believe, if you want to do a crime, you think it's funny and I want to keep doing it and I'm going to keep doing it. Yep. And well, that's why the system's built the way it is. Yeah. That's why a lot of people want to be here.
Yeah. A
lot of people are dying to be in America.
There's a lot of freedom here.
I want to say in the United States.
There's a lot of freedom here.
And there is a lot of freedom. And to say that the United States, oh, you know what? They don't care about us. They do care because, like you said, we get to fight for our freedom. We get to protest.
Right.
Imagine if we were in another country.
No, it's not happening.
Hey, bring the guns out, shoot them down.
Well,
let's get rid of them.
Well, that's why they have these amendments, right? These First Amendment, right? But
the good thing is the awareness,
right?
Which we're doing now. Like you said, for the amendment, we could stop it. We could get us because we are citizens. Maybe not our future generation that have been flooding into the states illegally, like they say, and but give them a chance. A lot of the ones that are working hard, give them a chance.
Right.
Okay. Now, if that guy came in and worked hard, he's not working hard. He killed somebody or something. If he ran somebody over mistakenly and killed somebody,
it's an accident.
That's an accident. He's not a criminal. Or let's say. He was brought here when he was 12 years old or 8 years old.
That was not out of his control.
And he steals a Snickers or something. And then now he's 55 years old. He has a family. He has kids. He has a home. Why is ICE knocking on their door? Hey, we got to take you. You did a crime. Right. Come on, man. Again, ICE, you want to do it, do your job right.
Right.
Study what you got. I mean, bring some intelligent people in.
Right.
That will fight for the country,
right,
and to make it right. Yeah, you want to make America great again. We all want it to be great again.
Well,
and people do flood in here illegally or pushing themselves, or I'm going to do it whether they like it or not. And you know what? There's a way to do it, but also don't be lazy, man, because those borders are lazy people.
Yeah.
They'll sit you down and. Oh yeah, you have in about a year. Everybody's trying to come in here, and and the questions and all that. I mean, I get it. just to become a citizen, but sometimes you never become one, you know? And then they want to treat you like a criminal. Like, come on, man. Like, is it really a crime? Is it a crime to want you to live a better life? Yeah. You know, that's not a criminal.
Well, that's
and I think that's most of what I think I want to say, if I can, for the people. I think that's one of the main reasons a lot of people, the youth, walked out of class, right? Because they may have a direct relationship and experience with their parents, and they see that their parents are not criminals like they say that we're supposed to be, but their parents are hard-working individual human beings, and wherever they came from, regardless, it doesn't matter what invisible borderline they crossed. They're hard-working people, and they raised a family. I come from a family that my grandfather. He was a migrant. He was a farmero.
Yeah.
A bracero, right? He came in the 40s, right?
The bracero program.
He was part of the bracero program. So, right, he was welcomed here as a hard-working bracero means strong arm.
Yeah, my grandfather went through the same thing.
So, where are those recognitions today?
Well, what it was is that they were cheap labor, right? So they brought them over because there was more land, there was a lot of produce that needed to get worked on, and there was no working force. So they brought over the Mexicanos, the bracero program, and then once that work is done, get the hell out of here.
But a lot of them were getting their citizenship. A lot of them were getting their residency. And the thing is this, and that's cool because, again, that happened in the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, last time was in the 50s.
But as far as I know now, that's just happening in their own country. They're getting paid that kind of wages. Yeah. So again, is America great or is it not? Or is the United States, has it done a lot for us? It has, because we're sitting here speaking about it.
Absolutely.
I guarantee if we were in North Korea or in China trying to talk about the government, we'd be shut down, breaking down our doors. And, But that's the freedom that we have here in the United States. So not that I'm not trying to, I'm mad at the fact of the way they're speaking and what they're doing. I think us as people, we need to kind of protest and educate our own government. Say, look, okay, you want to chase you want to chase the criminals down, all that. That's fine, but don't come scaring our people. We're hardworking. We're doing our job. Don't go. They're here already. Don't be asking anything. Go to the border and stop it from coming in again.
Well, there's a lot of
if that's the case,
with everyone that comes, there's always, you're going to have a few bad apples.
Everywhere.
It doesn't matter.
Everywhere.
It doesn't matter.
I was one.
And then, but what do you do with that bad apple? Do you leave it in amongst? No, you segregate it. You get rid of it, right? Because if not, that
spoil the bunch.
Will spoil the rest of them, right?
And going back to what's a positive and what should we be doing to make these changes,
right?
I think we talked about this one time, Gilbert, at one of your shows, right? How do we make these systematic changes?
Right.
If you don't like the leadership,
you got to change it.
You change it. Right.
And that's one of the rights we have is the right to overthrow our government if it's not working in our favor. But as a whole, right? It's not. It can't just be like, oh, I don't agree with
one person.
Correct.
And we could say overthrow. We could say
replace.
Right.
We could say we're going to do a little bit better at the next election. Right. We talked about this, Gilbert, about making changes in our own personal lives and within our own community, right? Within the county structure.
Right.
And how do we make these changes? Well, you vote.
That's right.
You get out there and you vote. You register. And remember what I said, if this was me and this was my campaign, I would set up a booth to register people, right? Going back to our people, the gente, Chicanos, right? We're not used to that, Like, ain't nobody, my parents didn't tell me, mijo, when you grow up, you're going to be a voter. They didn't tell me that.
Right.
There was this real deep fear of the government, right? Like, you don't say you have a mental health problem. You don't say you don't have a drug addiction. Like, that's just where I come from. I don't know about the rest, right?
Right.
So we were raised with a deep fear of government fear, right? But the times are changing.
Right, because
the youth are walking out, bro. Just like you said,
but there was a fear back then because there was a lot of racism. Back then.
Sure.
And there was groups that were controlling part of the government.
You're right,
and and the government would agree with it. I mean, to have a certain group that I don't want to even say their name because they're
Don't give them recognition.
exactly. But they rushed down the to the White House,
Right.
and they filled the place up,
Right.
and they were all in uniform, like, and that they allowed that to happen,
And got pardoned.
right? I mean,
And
you
got
sit
pardoned.
there and you're like,
Well,
What
it
the-
just goes to show it was a ploy. It was just
Right.
scripted, right?
Right.
Because it needs to create that division, right? And I say, this is how I say, whether you're on the left or the right, left wing, right wing, it's all part of the same bird,
right,
It doesn't matter, right? It's and that's why I keep reiterating, it's the system. I mean, I have my thoughts, I got my ideology of how this is played out to, right? Where even the word citizen, do you even know what a citizen is, what the 14th Amendment was? Do you know what that created? Supposedly they said it was okay to free the slaves. It didn't free the slaves.
Yeah.
It created everybody a citizen. And the definition of a citizen is an employee of the corporation of the United States of America, because this isn't a country. That's why I keep saying it's not a country. These are corporations. So when you have that United States flag,
America's not a.
Collect goes deep, man.
Yeah,
He
like
goes
I
deep
said,
into ideas.
But as I say, America
Yeah.
is not. It's not a. It's you can't say I'm American. That's my origin. You're not. Your origins were you.
So we were at one of your shows, remember, Gilbert, a couple of years back. I'm not gonna say no names, and I had said, let's give this individual an opportunity, but the opportunity that I would have wished was, set up a booth, right? Because somebody's giving you space to do that. Correct. And you start talking to the people, right? You start encouraging them, you start empowering them, you start educating them, because that's what we talked about. How are we going to make this? Right. How are we going to make these real positive changes? Not burning flags, right? Not spray painting posts.
That doesn't do anything.
Flipping cars.
I mean, the only thing I see positive out of that,
because that's destruction of property. Like me, I have it's called common law, right?
Right.
That you cause no injury, loss, or harm to anyone. Right. And if you do, then you have to you got to pay them back. You got to
Right.
But by spray painting, someone worked hard. Like we all put our money together. That's why we pay our taxes, right? We all put our money together to have these structures. Right. And if someone's destroying them, well, that's my money.
Well, and you know what?
You know what I mean?
Like, I know on the other side, on the other flip coin to that, I, of course, again, I'm a union laborer. I'm always looking for jobs for union workers, right? So the only positive that I saw out of that was, oh, good, a city worker's going to come. He's got some work. He's got, he's got job security, right? That was the only thing. But going back to that one show, Gilbert, like going back to who we are as a people, right? Like we weren't raised to understand politics. We weren't raised to get a good credit score. We're we're not raised to eat our veggies, right? That's just who we are, right? We're gordo. We don't know how to vote because we're not registered, and our credit like shit. Right. But it's so going back to that show when there was some campaigning kind of going on, right? I would have had set up a booth and start talking to the people and asking them, man, where do you live? Right? What's your district? Letting them know, do you know who your candidates are, or do you know what district you live in? And I'm going to be in your district, right? And start registering people, man. Start registering, teach them, show them.
Well, with that being said, on the local level, it matters,
right?
But for the national level, it doesn't matter because
it's the same when you're going to vote for a president.
No, you don't vote for a president.
You don't think so?
That's just a popularity vote. It has no basis on.
Well, I understand the collegiate vote and all that.
So basically, if you understand how it works, I
understand.
So when we vote and we elect our representatives, right? They're the one who votes.
Our electoral vote goes into the bucket.
So it doesn't matter. It's up to them, right? And they have lobbyists. It's all BS, right? But anyways.
Well, we need to be there.
But
we need to be there.
It's important that Trump wants California.
Well, what I'm saying is it affects us on our local level, right? On who our council people are, because they're the ones that are going to affect our community. Right, that's where it does matter, right? And so where does it happen? It happens in our community. What I was getting back to is we need to come together. We need to create our structure, buy from each other, create businesses, right?
Okay. Going back to keeping the money in the community.
Keeping the money in the community, right? We need to kind of like what Gilbert's idea back in the day is, he wants to create a center where we start teaching these youngsters about, I want to be a lowrider. Well, how do you weld? How do How do you do
Keep the money in the community, guys.
That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's
I got to plug myself real quick. Keep the money in the community.
no, and back
calendars, Streetlow Magazine.
And this is where I'm headed to, right? This is where I'm headed to because Streetlow, we are local. We are lowriders. We aren't corporate. No. This other magazine that's just using the name as Gilbert, as I'm going to continue saying, it's just a phantom, right? It's the shell. It's the ghost in the shell. No longer exists. It's no longer for us. It's no longer by the people. It's now corporate America, which is the system, understands our buying power because that's where the power is and through money. So if you feed it, if you keep feeding it with our money,
it's going to stay in power.
It's going to stay in power. Well, give it back to us. Because we have great ideas. You know, we're local, grassroots. That's what the whole grassroots structure. And Gilbert has been here since day one. And even he says he's never going to sell. It doesn't matter the amount of money because that's the power.
Right. It ain't even about money no more, man. It's about leaving a legacy
and preserving
our culture with younger generation coming in.
Which is why I invited you for this Friday, Gilbert, at Andrew Hill High School. Okay. We have the opportunity. Check this out. We have the opportunity now. You know what's strange is, who we are, what we represent, the people, the raza, Chicanos, how you feel you identify yourself, right? Like there was a time and place. I remember, I grew up in, I grew up over here in Seven Trees, right? And I lived there all my life on the south side of San Jose. And there was a long time where who I was and how I represented, how I dressed.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember we talked about how we dressed in the Pendletons and, and how we creased our pants and all this stuff. Like
which was in itself a protest.
Andale. It was. Cholo.
It was a protest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was.
A rebel.
And we weren't welcome, right? Like, I don't know how many times I got kicked out of schools. I don't know how many times. Right. I was not welcome. And it was very, very imminent and obvious that who I was, how I dressed, what I looked like, how I walked, how I talked, my style, my estilo, it wasn't welcome because there was fear, right? There was fear because people started catching on. I got kicked out of Andrew Hill and then I went to Santa Teresa and I started this little carnalismo over there in Santa Teresa, right? And then they started saying we were the Santa Teresa Mexicans. And there you go. Right. The fear started again. Oh, you can't bring that over here. Right. But I just wanted to continue to say that, educate, man.
Andrew Hill,
so Friday. Yeah. Friday. Going back to that. So there was a time when we would always get kicked out of places like this. Now, check it out, man. Now they're inviting us to go. We don't even have college degrees, bro. Right.
School of Hard Knocks, baby.
And they're inviting us, and they're giving us space and opportunity to come into the schools and teach the schools a culture of lowriding.
Right.
Which is why I wanted to bring you, Gilbert, because you're for me and from what I understand, you're a powerful symbol of local lowriding here, right, in the Bay Area and San Jose and over. Right. I know you cross straight lines, but what you have, just looking in your studio, man, every time I come here, I feel like this should be my room, bro.
Calls it a studio, but it's his office.
Yeah, I mean, I see so many beautiful artwork, man, and it's just a style. Like you can't do this somewhere else. Like you can never do this again. This is it. This is just once. This is you. This is Streetlow. This is what you guys represent. Us, not you guys, ¿verdad? Right. And but they're inviting us to come into the school and to teach the kids, man. Wow. Come on, we don't even have a college degree, bro. Yeah. And we're just sharing personal experience, which is why I extended which is why I wanted to extend the invitation to you, Gil, because you representing Streetlow, you have a lot to share to the kids. Right. You have a lot to share, man. And how are we going to keep it is by sharing it, bro.
Right on.
And education, right? Keeping that knowledge circulating, and even lowriding itself, right, has and always will be a sense of protest.
Sure.
Right, because because we would take these vehicles and we modify them to how we want. Right. That itself is a symbol saying, nah, I'm not gonna. What you give me, I'm not going to accept. I'm gonna do it how I want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not rolling stock.
Yeah, exactly right. That's why we lower it.
Well, we're like, I call ourselves historians.
You know what?
We are preservators.
Right.
We've preserved 4-door cars, station wagons, these old metal pieces that were at junkyards ready to be smashed. People, hey, get this car out of my yard. I don't want it here. That's what we were. We were the guys that were picking these cars up and turning them into creating our style.
But look at the power of how it turned out involving political protests, right? Like we are now being invited to escort a political campaign. Right. Look what the city of San Jose, like
we've always been, but they've always asked us.
Yeah, but
it was like quinceaneras and weddings.
No.
Okay.
But I mean, if you go back to history, and I follow all kinds of car enthusiasts and bikers and everything, and I've noticed, like during toy runs, bikers used to do a lot of toy runs when I was young.
Right. Yeah.
But when we started the magazine, one thing I've noticed that everybody always did, they had Toys for Tots.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And we wanted to cover them. But goddamn, there were so many we couldn't cover them. In one issue, I think we gave one page to every Toys for Tots that we could because there were so many of them.
Just to issue all the Toys for Tots.
Yeah, and I sat there and I said, you know what, we do so much for the communities, but we're the underdogs. We're always. I couldn't use the word lowrider because it was. I couldn't get a place for them to rent. I was trying to get a rental for an event. I couldn't do it, so I had to call it custom car show. Right. So I had to change it up a little bit to show the growth of lowriding because it's grown so much that it has a lot of elements to it. You got the trucks, you got the lowriders, the hoppers. There's a lot of elements to what lowriding is, and a lot of people don't understand that. People think.
But look at the involvement though to where we have evolved from then. Yeah. And I think each person in the room here has their own personal experience and history with low riding, right? But I think we could share the same sentiment that in the last few years from, let's say, the pandemic up to now, there's been a lot of political empowerment from low riding, right? You being in a car club or you a solo rider or, however you want to identify yourself as low riding, like, when they have parades, they want, I know low riding and parades has been a thing, right? But like, we were invited, the lowrider holiday, right? Talk about politics and protest. Look at a lowrider holiday. They invited lowriders to go to City Hall. You know what the funniest thing about that was? When it was all said and done, man, and all the cars left, man, you should have seen how many oil spills there was right in front of the city. I said, we're going to get the invite again. But my point is how we evolved. Right, so low riding is now a symbol of power. Right. Because look at the high schools are calling us to escort the youth, man, and to keep them protected.
The trippy thing is that a lot of a younger generation right now are taking and they're talking and they're putting themselves up there and trying to educate the younger generation. But one thing we have to remember where it all came from, because the older generation right now, they're not talking as much as they would probably love to, because a lot of social media wasn't around when a lot of these cars were being built. Nobody, there was pictures being taken. Yeah, all there was is just their self pride of building the car and
it was their work,
taking it out for a cruise. Where cruising was a little different. We didn't cruise. There was no organization. Yeah. There was no need to organize. We're going to cruise Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Go look for some girls.
Doesn't matter.
You see, so now it's a little different. I think it's more of a media stance in lowriding. The young generation doesn't understand. When they see the word lowrider, right away they think, oh, it's going to be like before. It's the same organization. Yeah. Where there's two identities. I had a talk with Mario Madrid. We were talking about it, and there's two identities to this symbol right now. Yeah, because there was a magazine at one time. Now it's a T-shirt company that's taken over and trying to walk the walk of what the magazine was. And the people that actually ran it at the time. But all said and done, what I'm trying to get at is that there's an older generation that there's still to be. They got to talk. We got to. That's the reason why we've created this podcast, because I want to bring them. I want to talk to a lot of these guys that have never been on social media or don't really care about it. Yeah. But they have beautiful stories, man. Because we all had a story growing up, like you said, when you first saw lowriding, or what does lowriding mean to you? Yeah. Is it just colors and a car hitting a switch, just looking at a car on the weekend only, or was it an everyday rider for you? Because that's the only car you had, and you're dumping all your money into it, but that was your ride, you know?
Yeah.
But I know we jumped off the politics, but you know that's part of the political thing.
No, it is. I mean, lowriding is political.
Right.
Lowriding is political,
No,
right?
you said it.
And so, with that even being said, I was listening to a couple people, and one individual was, I guess, talking down that, these quote unquote protests, the ones that were happening down in LA and all over, and like they're getting upset because people were utilizing this as a party, as a time to party. It's like, oh, people again, they're lowrider, and it's like, well, I mean, that's a symbol, it's a symbol, and I guess to them, the protests weren't getting any results,
right?
Because as I was insinuating is, you're not getting results. You're making a stance. You're shouting, but at the end of the day, nothing changed.
You're just a loud clang.
You know what I mean?
Bang.
And so because they're not doing.
You saw the one down south, right?
Oh, it was big.
And then the cops.
They shut it down 101.
Yeah, but the thing is, so going back to the whole police thing, those cops are regular people too.
Sure,
they're Chicanos in there too.
Sure,
and they have a job to do.
Right.
But as a police chief or whoever controls them, instead of doing what they did and take that stand, that made it look ugly.
Yeah,
we are the people.
Yeah,
and you guys are also being paid by us to protect us.
Right.
And kind of what was beautiful that what you said that the San Jose police on bikes,
right?
So you know what, we're going to take our stand and make sure they're safe. Well, that's what the police department in LA should have done. They should have shut down every entrance into the freeway, and let them march.
Right,
march wherever you guys want. Right. And whatever that you guys are doing, do it, and do it peacefully
and purposeful.
Right, but to go there and go against. It just we're fighting ourselves
because there was some there are some bad apples. Like
there
unfortunately, what happened in Phoenix, there was
right.
There was a shooting. At one of these protests. It's like, and sometimes it has nothing to do with the protests. It's just you got knuckleheads.
Right.
I mean, and getting. I mean, it's when we throw car shows, we're gonna get knuckleheads. But when something like that happens, obviously the negative is gonna outshine the positive, no matter what. Right.
Yeah. Right.
And it's unfortunate, but. We have to stay true and be like, this is what are we fighting for? What do we want, right? What it is we want to be first and foremost, be recognized as an individual, or not even but as an actual person, right?
Yeah.
Because they're calling us, they degrade us once against labels, right? We're an immigrant, we're an illegal, an alien. Just those terms alone is saying we are not from here.
Correct.
Right, and then that's where the division where you get, these people, oh, well, I've been here 5 generations. Like, calm down, relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about that. That's what my whole standpoint, and it's not about, it's the system. It's we can all work together and be cohesive and create something great, or we can keep fighting at each other, and then we're never gonna advance.
We can all get down.
That's it,
Right.
No, and it's like when we all get together, when we would throw these car shows, right? We would have all these different, like without the car clubs, there is no car show.
No, that's right.
Without the lowrider, individual there is no show.
A lowrider show is thrown with the people.
That's it.
A lowrider show isn't a symbol of even Streetlow Magazine. We're not the lowrider show. We are a lowrider show. And for people to say, oh, we're going to the lowrider show, there's a lot of lowrider shows around.
Yep.
Just because somebody's using an actual label or a symbol to recognize what they're doing and throwing. So the people is the power, man.
Darn right.
There was a boycott years ago in 2002, I remember that. Yep. It was in Los Angeles.
You're damn right.
And they boycotted Lowrider Magazine hard, where everybody showed up at a speedway.
Yep.
And they had over 15 to 2,000 cars that protested against them, and their show there was nobody. It was just really nobody there, but that just shows you the power of the people, man.
So I feel like with these the standpoints of these illegals, whatever they want to label us, right? I'm calling us migrants, right? So
people of the earth.
What we need to do is, I strongly, is that we need to come together and create our own economic community to where, to say, hey, we're going to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
We can create businesses. We can.
If you don't want our money, you don't want our labor.
That's it. Yeah.
We'll do it ourselves.
So buy brown, sell brown, stay brown.
That's it. That's it. Right. That's the only way that we're going to make an impact. A real impact is because it's all about, it's just business, baby. Nothing personal. It's just business.
It's business.
And those that want to support us,
you
don't have to be brown.
No.
Because there's a lot of beautiful white people out there too, a lot of beautiful black people out there that have been supporting us, and and I know a lot of our brown brothers and sisters out there pissed and throw dirt on whites, but don't throw dirt on them. Throw dirt on the system. On the system that creates that. It's not a hate thing.
So with that, it's we need to support local businesses.
Sure.
Right. Jeff Bezos doesn't need our money. The Krokers, they don't need our money. Right. You know what I mean? The Walmarts, the
Amazon.
That's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
They don't need our money, right?
They're already rich.
Yeah, and they don't give back.
So much money that
they don't give back, right? And all that. What is all those conglomerates, big giant corporations? What it's doing is taking the food from the small people, from the little businesses, right?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. We need to support each other, because then now it's just a circle, man. They keep printing money, but we keep the circle. The circle is going to grow bigger. We're all going to eat at the same table. You know what I mean? It's
like there's certain, again, the blacks, man.
Yeah.
Black people, man, they're creating clothes,
right,
music. I mean, they're doing acting, creating their own businesses. And sometimes they say that they fight against each other and they don't see each other coming up, but you could see it.
Yeah,
you could see them coming up.
Yeah,
Hispanics or Latinos, Chicanos.
Well, we got that crab effect. We keep talking about that.
Right,
it's the crab effect.
Yeah.
We can't
rise. And to me, it's like what's crazy to me is that just because I don't look like that person, you don't want to support me because I look too much like you. Mm-hmm. But I'm here supporting. I'm trying to build myself. So hopefully, I'm working hard, and there's other people that don't work as hard, but want to just sit on your chair because they look like you.
Well, it's been rooted deeply,
but it shouldn't be that way.
Well, it's been deeply rooted because of the caste system, right? Mm-hmm. When the Europeans came, right, and they said, okay, if you're mixed and you're a mestizo, then you have different castes. If you're a native, then you're at the very bottom. You can't own land. You can't do this. Mm-hmm. It was the caste system, right? So that's where it's been embedded in us for generations, where we need to unravel all that. We need to forget about that and say, hey, you're doing good. Hey, congratulations. We see it in the lowriding community, right? I mean, someone's doing something good.
I could do that better.
Yeah.
He ain't all that.
Yeah.
And just to improve or show off in front of a girl or show off in front of your friends.
Why?
But it happens.
Yeah.
But it happens within everybody too.
Yeah.
I just think we need to just go hard, go faster, and improve ourselves. And again, like I said, give that brother and sister a hand. If you see them doing good, let them, man. Let them do it. Help them out. Don't try to outshine them. I can do it better. And then you start causing division, and that's why I keep myself away from a lot of social media, believe it or not. I'm not on there, who's doing what or what. I really don't care. I don't. And I get all my guys, hey, you see what they're doing? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm thinking on my own. I'm doing my own thing. Oh, but they're almost copying what we're doing. I go, that's the reason why we continue to do what we do. Yeah. I don't need to see anybody else's stuff. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and then just let them see me from the back.
Yeah.
So with that, getting back to helping, right? So if we do see, these ICE agents out here terrorizing, these people, hey, say something. Don't be afraid of, hey, what's going on? Interject yourself.
Record.
Start filming them.
Yeah.
Filming them.
Start filming.
Social media is
so social media could be a powerful tool too.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. We're sharing on social media about where ICE sightings are, but I want to say report the correct information.
Yeah, don't be scared.
Don't just see and say, okay, ICE is over here doing whatever they're doing. No, understand what's happening. Right. Try to see if they are serving a warrant, or it's don't just see something and then post and then make the people believe in what you posted, because there's nothing more harmful than misinformation out here.
Right.
But not only that, I mean, you got a bunch of punk ass people, I don't want to say kids or grown ups, whatever, screaming out ICE or doing crazy shit to alarm or whatever, if they're our own race or they're not our own race or it's somebody else doing it. You know, stop being such a punk ass, you know, because karma's a motherfucker, man.
Right.
You know, you keep doing that to innocent people that are working hard and feeding their family. Because I know a couple of people out there that they're in fear. They're in fear. They have good jobs. They live good. They're normal people. They're not into any, they're not into any of the, they're not into anything.
Yeah.
You know, they're not even into lowriding. They're just into their own living a life. You know, they came from another country. They're doing their thing. Yeah. But they're in fear of doing things.
Well, that's what I got. My father, he's in El Salvador right now, and you know.
Yeah, but he's having fun.
No, he's like, he's having
fun, but he ain't suffering.
No, he's over here like, hey, you hear what's going on? I said, Dad, stop tripping, man.
I better stay here. he's like, I don't think I should go back.
Well, you know, it's just this whole thing of
send me some money, son.
Yeah, exactly.
Got some of that rent. Hey, you got to do that rent? Send it to me. So I think it's going to be very, very bad over there. Yeah. He's like, Calmate, Luca.
But that's the fear, right? Because of what they're saying about, you know, trying to remand the 14th Amendment, you know, because he's a naturalized citizen. And so he's like, are they going to let me back? I said, Dad, don't even worry, man. Just,
you see, know? And that to me is just so, it's so dumb what they're doing. It's so, I don't know.
Because it creates fear, right? So once you have this fear, now your normalcy of life is unstable, because now you're thinking of other things instead of what you need to be focusing on, right? And that's what it is, right? It's to cause this fear, it causes disruption so that you no longer function properly. Yeah. And then since you're no longer functioning properly, now you can be manipulated, you can be maneuvered, and be that's like I use nature, right? If you look at a deer, it's grazing. It's just eating, right? Here comes a predator, mountain lion. What does it do? Pokes up and it takes off. Boom, it's gone. Then when it's out of fear, what does it do? Is it looking for it goes back to eating. It goes back. But by staying in a state of fear, then you're never going to get to that normalcy where you're just going to be grazing. You're always going to be heightened. And that's what.
And he's talking about, well, we want them to come here, you know, the way it should be done. Yeah. Well, now you're taking shit away from them. Yeah. They've been doing it for a while, whether it's the DACA people or kids that are here in DACA. The United States gave them an opportunity. Now you're going to take it away? Mm-hmm. And my wife, we were talking about it. She was telling me that he's talking about anybody that's an immigrant that has a bank account, he's going to freeze their assets.
Why?
Right?
Why?
Why would you do that? You're going to steal. Now you're going to steal from them.
Stealing. Yeah.
You already stole tax money from them. Okay. I mean, not stole, but you know they never. Yeah.
Well,
you can't say steal.
Well, they do the taxes and they don't report it.
They don't report it, right? And all the tax money they keep, I guess I get it, but you can't say they stole it. Just they didn't come back.
They borrowed without asking.
They didn't claim that. It stood there.
Yeah, right. They didn't claim it.
So let's not say it's stolen because you can't really talk about that. But anyways, when she told me, I was like, "What the fuck?" I go, "They can't." Yeah. They can't take their money. Like, that's fucking bullshit.
Well, it's theft, right?
Right. So, I mean.
Well, that's their attorney money.
Right.
That's the money they're going to use to fight their case.
Right. In the case that they've already been in, that the United States said, okay, you know what? We're going to let you fight. We're going to let you go, we're going to figure out a way to keep you here. Here's a number. Go ahead and work.
Right.
And we're going to call you when something happens. Yeah. But from my understanding, a lot of people have been getting denied. Yeah. Like, why? Why are you denying them, man? Like, why you want to cut these programs off now?
And I think that's what today was about, right? Was to show, hey, what would happen if these people were gone?
Right. I think that was the message.
Right. Sure. This is what would happen if
a day without Mexicans,
or a day without
what it was.
Right. And so it's like, okay, that's a good message. It's great, but it's like,
do it for a month.
Yep.
Yeah, make them more powerful.
A day, shit. Yeah. Do it for a whole month.
Yeah, because the next day you're going to go right back to Walmart.
Right. Let's do it for a month. Let's just chill for a month and support our brown people. That's it.
Well, not just brown people. Support our local people.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. The people that are against immigration, that are against Because I know they were taking out products from
Yeah.
They didn't want no Mexican products in here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, support them people.
No more Fanta.
No, because like I said, I went to Safeway. Safeway was one of them that said, keep me out of this shit.
Yeah.
And they kept selling. We went to Safeway, and man, it was packed.
Yeah.
Expensive as shit, but it was packed.
Right. And that's where a lot of once again, it's all about money, right? Where these tariffs, the implications of it is the ramifications of all these tariffs. Everything's just going to get more expensive.
Yeah.
But what's not going up is our wages.
Yeah.
My job isn't going to be like, oh, hey, you know what? Everything's here's an extra $3 an hour. No.
That's another beast on its own. I'm in the
Right.
middle of contract negotiations with my agency, and
Well, that's the beauty, though. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
What you're doing.
Right.
Mexico, they don't do that.
Yeah.
Shit goes up, guess
No,
what?
they don't like unions in Mexico.
Oh, well.
And they don't like unions in Texas.
I don't know how it is in Brazil.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know,
No.
Flavio came over here. Flavio says he's down with the USA, right? No, I'm just saying, like I say, this is a place to live. This is where you can get. It's safe.
Safe.
Yeah, no, like I said.
Safer.
Right.
Safer.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like places around the world. I mean, Salvador for a long time was fucking crazy.
Right.
Now people want to go back.
And the prices are going up, which is crazy over there.
It's changing.
But
it should. But that's what I was talking about, right? The capitalism, right? As everything starts raising up, right? But what's not going up is their wages. They're not
Well, you see
paying
that
them.
that's where the government needs to start. Same in Mexico. The wages need to go up for these cops.
Yeah.
The cops, the federal, all the federal agents, they're so corrupt because
They're forced to take a handout. They're forced to take a buyout.
they want to live good.
They're forced.
Yes,
They're forced to.
Yep.
They're county employees. They're city
Correct.
employees, but they
Correct.
still can't afford to live in the county or city that they work
It's
in.
the same thing here.
Same thing here.
Same thing here.
Hello,
We're just-
welcome to my world, you guys.
It's just on a whole different level.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm trying to reiterate is this capital is the capitalistic system. You need to have those at the top and those at the bottom. They call these countries third world countries. It's not third world countries. Mexico is rich. It's got all kinds of resources that the United States needs to create products.
Avocados.
It just needs a good president, which they have a good one now.
Well,
they had one last time, but there's been so much corruption with the Mexican government because of the president they've always brought in, and if you look at the past of all these presidents, they weren't even Mexican. They were like from Spain and from other countries that were controlling Mexico. The only true at the time was Benito Juarez. Was the only Indian Mexican that went in there and it was for the people.
Yeah.
Then you had to get all these revolutionaries like Pancho Villa, Zapata, Hidalgo. What's the name?
Which one?
There was another.
Hidalgo. Hidalgo was the father Hidalgo.
But they fought. They fought against the government, of Mexico for the rights of the people.
Well, even with Zapata, right? And they wanted him to be president. He's like, no, I just want my land. I'm not the president. I just want to go back home.
Yeah, I just want to be simple.
And so what did they do? And then they had to get rid of him because why? Because he was gonna rise up again with the new presidents.
Yeah.
So it's like they'll use us to get their agenda done, and then once it's done, then we're discarded.
Right.
It's the same thing with the Rossetto program. It's just history.
Yeah, it's history repeating itself.
But at the end of the road, it's all money.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all money. It's all money. Hey, we're out there protesting. I want to remind folks, we're going to protest. Let's do it right. Not say that you guys are doing it wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But I want to say, let's protest purposeful.
Right. And respect other people.
Right.
Continue because it's the youth are out there, and pay attention to the youth, man. Parents, use this as an educational platform. Ask your student why you out there. Teach them Teach them the right things, man.
Yeah.
And what can we do to change the economic system that we're living in, the capitalistic big system that we're living in, that we are slave to.
And that's
right. It's modern day slavery.
And it's always been that way.
Right? It's modern day slavery, man. So how do we make these changes? The protests are good. They're happening.
No,
they're
protests
good.
are good.
They're good. They're happening. But let's do something positive.
Right.
Don't be burning down stuff.
Right.
Don't be committing crimes while we're out there. Right.
Right.
Peaceful, and it's going to continue, right? Which is why I believe, we were there. I was there late, man, at King and Story on Friday, and I was like, They were dancing in the
It was
street,
beautiful,
right?
man. It was
They were
beautiful.
doing the Mexican line dancing. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're protesting.
And the
for.
government,
Orale.
wasn't interacting.
No, the police shut it down. They called. They had a private. They had stateside waiting with street closures.
Oh yeah, they shut down. They shut down the freeway.
Right, they were ready, but because it was very peaceful, I believe they were still able. They were out there a long time, man. And I remember the principal said, "Hey, they started doing the Mexican line dancing, and right in the middle of King Story." And I was like, "Wow, man!" I said, "You know how much money some people paid just to get this place, shut down? Going to the Cinco de Mayo or something. You pay a lot of money." I said, "These youth shut down King Story for free,
Right?
Because they were peaceful protesting, right? They were dancing." They were sharing some words. There was no violence.
Right.
They maybe were hanging up some flags here and there, but nobody was writing on the walls.
Right.
And that's powerful, right?
Right.
I want to continue to iterate that's powerful, man. The peaceful protesting, man.
Right.
You have the right of to protest, right? You have the right, freedom of speech. Right. Don't let nobody take that away from you, man.
Right. And
right.
And so that's what I was saying. There's the 5 elements of the First Amendment, right? You got the freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to protest, and freedom of grievances to our government, right?
Yeah.
But
that's why they need to help. They need to be part of it. And like again, when you were telling me about the cops being part of it, helping them out,
they were there.
That's the way it should have been done. What they did in Los Angeles, that wasn't the way it should have been done. They shouldn't have gone up in riot gear and all that, because all you do is you anger the people.
Well, if you're coming out showing force, you're showing your intentions that, hey, you know what,
we're gonna shut you down. We don't care what your rights are.
I'm going to use force against you, right? And we're not in riot gear. We're coming, with just flags or just ourselves. So now it's just the insinuation of, hey, you know what? Now you're bringing that violent element to it, right?
You know how powerful that would have been if the cops would have said, we're going to shut the streets down for you guys.
Oh yeah,
we want you guys to keep walking,
give you your space,
be respectful, and that's the way it should have been. That's the way it would have been. But maybe they need to learn. Hopefully, if you guys are watching this, learn your communities.
Right.
You guys are paid to protect and serve us. Not to protect and serve us.
And we had a sense of responsibility, because it's a responsibility that when they call and say, hey, can you take these folks out here? It's a very sensitive community, right? Say, it was a big responsibility, Gilbert.
Right.
To escort the youth to their campaign spot. And then I remember the once they started dancing in the middle of the street, man, it was like 3, 4, 5 hours into the campaign.
Well, I seen some video. I was like,
I told the principal, I looked at him and I started laughing. I said, "Are you supposed to be taking them back, bro?" And he's like, I'm not gonna be able to get them back like this, because they were having fun,
right?
And I was like, oh, okay, so we gotta have a plan. Right? We gotta get a plan.
So with that being said, out of the '60s, right, you had the Brown Berets, you had the Black Berets, right, you had Black Panthers.
Yeah, the Brown Berets were there,
right? So all these organizations, what was the premise of it is policing our own,
correct?
Right. So it's like, we'll take care of our own,
like we do,
right? We'll take care of our own.
Well, yeah, because they were beating them up.
Yeah,
the cops didn't have no. They had no limit on what force was.
Right.
They were forcing themselves. Well, now there's laws, there's TVs, there's videos,
But what I'm trying to get at is, now we need to get back to our community taking care of ourselves, taking care of our own. Like when we have these events, right? You stated it, where we police ourselves at these car shows. It's like if something going down, we'll check each other. Hey, relax. Why? Because we don't want this negative stigmatism to come.
And
back
who to talk
us.
to. You know who to talk to.
Guerrilla security.
You know where to go to, right?
Guerrilla security.
I think one of the most successful campaigns, like after an event, I'm like, that was a successful event.
Right.
Well, why'd you say it was successful? We didn't make no money. I said, but nobody got hurt.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And the cops didn't have to come and arrest people. For me, that was a successful event. Now, we could probably work on how we're going to make more money, right, next time. Yeah. But a successful event to me is, hey, nobody got hurt, man.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
And that's where we're these protests, as long as nobody's hurt, no one was arrested, no property damage, right?
Right.
We all, we said our message, and that's what needs to be done. We need to get back to that community based, and and to me, I mean, there's a lot of different elements to this, right? Part of it is, once again, that we're just so bombarded as adults to paying our bills. You know, we got housing, that's why it's up to the students, because they have no responsibilities. They're just going to school.
Gotcha.
So that they can make that voice. They can scream loud, because that's the future, and they're going to make the change. Whereas us, you know, it's like, you know, Gilbert, we got to pay bills. We got this, and this. A protest, man. I got it. If I don't work, then we're not going to eat.
Right.
You know,
and then a little bit later, like I remember,
I say let's not pay our houses for a year, guys.
Yeah.
I remember a little bit later in the protest, you know, I was talking, you know, just seeing the principal, you know, passing, and I said, well, it seems like, you know, maybe the adults now got off of work and now they're here, so it's a different campaign. It's a different protest.
Well, so that's why this weekend was different, because you know, I mean, Friday people were working, Saturday people were, Sunday, yesterday.
Oh yeah,
there was a lot of people that nobody was working, so it was a bigger impact.
Right.
You know?
Well, we're gonna go protest at Denny's over coffee
and pancakes. We're gonna protest on pancakes.
Are they? They're part of the thing too. Huh? There's a lot of people that are part of this. Don't.
Yeah, I think I didn't want to miss anything, Gilbert. So I wrote down. I wrote down.
It was McDonald's.
I wrote down some local communities, and I just wanted to, you know, give them a little shout out, because they were part of,
for sure.
You know, part. So I didn't want to miss them, but you know, I'll get to it right now. But
let me see if I could throw down the places they say not to. But like you said, you know, not 1 day, 2 days. I think now that we did it for a day or two, I think we should do it for a whole month and show them till they write a letter of apologies.
Who
on social media? Any of these companies, from McDonald's to Target to whoever is out there that are against what's going on here.
Yeah. So I have so here's a small list of some San Jose local businesses that were supporting today's community action.
Right.
You have Tacos El Carbón.
Oh, they're good.
They shut it down completely in solidarity within the protest of the people. You had Tostadas Prime, also another really good, you know, local establishment. You know, Latino establishment, Mexicano establishment. Con Azúcar is another one, you know, downtown. And then Armando's Restaurant was another local restaurant that, you know, on social media made it a point to say, hey, you know, even though we need the money ourselves, right? Because people that work in our restaurant are Mexicanos too, right? But we are going to stand in solidarity and you know, and shut it down. And so just a little acknowledgement for, you know, little things help out.
I mean,
let me give you a list of what they threw at me. They said no Walmart, no McDonald's, no Target, no Sam's, no Wendy's, no Ross, no Coca-Cola.
Right.
So there you go. You guys,
right. I seen that.
Diabetic. No Starbucks. No Amazon. No Planet Fitness. No TJ Maxx. No Home Depot. These are the racist companies that agreed with not serving or being part of any trade that came from Mexico. So, you know, like I said, maybe a day or two isn't long enough. I think, you know, so they could really feel it. Let's do, you know, a whole month.
Longer.
Let's do a month. You guys don't need Starbucks.
Well,
go to Pete's Coffee.
Well,
you know?
I mean, well, not even Pete's Coffee, right? It could be, you know,
Con azúcar.
Con azúcar, right?
Con azúcar. There you go, sir.
You know what I mean?
Azúcar.
Going our own, right?
We, like you said.
Right. We support them.
We support ourselves, and then
them bigger. And then anytime, as big as they can get,
we can get bigger.
But you know, like Con Azúcar, make sure they can open up more restaurants or more. Sure. And as big as they get, anytime there's a political problem, we have their back.
Right.
You know, and same with all these other restaurants, man.
Well, that's community helping community, supporting
like you said,
community.
Keep it in the circle.
That's going back to our roots, right? Of how our system was back then, right? It was you had your family, right? You had your family, then you had your neighborhood, you had your community. Then you had your county, and then
your barrio.
That's
Cuba,
right?
your pandilla.
But we all helped each other, right? and the commerce, and that's what it was about. To now with all this division, say, you're not this, you're not this. Now go to Walmart, go this, go, and we've got used to that, to where we're no longer.
It's accessible. It's easy. They're open 24 hours.
Yeah,
they're down the street.
We're not growing our own food.
No,
we're not. That's a big thing.
Right.
We're not growing our own food,
Right.
or going to local butchers that have so that have healthy meat.
Well,
it's all.
Going back to how you said, keep it in the circle. It's kind of like, again, it's not, a lot of people know that that I'm an organizer for a union, and we have a list of union shops, right? Like, for example, for a bakery, we tell folks, hey, go to Peter's Bakery, because they're a union shop. So my point is, we're keeping the money in our circle, right? We're empowering one another. So I really enjoy when you said that, it's the same concept.
Yeah. We need to do that in lowriding too, guys.
Yeah,
You got to support our brown brothers.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of promoters out there that are really for the people.
Yes,
and we should help promote and be part of their thing. Just because you probably had a fallout with one of the guys, I don't know. It just, there's so much, like you said, it's like a crap thing here.
Yeah.
We keep pulling ourselves down, not letting us grow and stuff. But it goes to that as well, man. You got to protect our own people, and the culture is not just brown. There's a lot of other people involved, but make sure that they are part of the culture, man. There a lot of these people are in it for the money, that quick buck, and just say, we're gonna give you free stuff. We're gonna make you feel comfortable, but that's how
and that activity is gonna rise. People are gonna see that, right? Because we're not stupid people.
Right. There's, like I said, there were certain people like, we're going to that show out there in Sacramento. No, I'm not going to that show in Sacramento.
What show?
Exactly. I go,
What show?
This Lowrider Magazine show. I go, they don't exist. That's not the logo. It's a logo show. Yeah. That's what it is. They're promoting a logo that don't exist, because our brown brothers that actually ran it aren't running it anymore.
Yep.
Right.
Because once again, they want our money.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just business, baby.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So, my next magazine, Golf and Lowriders. We're gonna take the golf industry storm. Fishing and lowriding too. We're gonna do fishing and lowriding. What's another one? Pinball and lowriding. Right. We'll do whatever we can with it that we don't do to create ourselves. But right on, man. But hey, thank you for coming in, man. Thank you, for talking about this political thing. I mean, unless you have something else.
Well, yeah. I mean, just with that being said, right? So back to supporting ourselves, right? So our next show coming up in Salinas.
Yeah. March 9th. I know last episode I kept saying 8th. I'm sorry, guys. Sunday, March 9th at the Salinas Sports Complex. Right. We have Jason Joshua performing. Also, Big Tone performing. Yeah. We have Bossalera, Troubles, Mike Quinn, a lot of the local guys that come out and support, and they, like to be part of the whole lowriding industry, Maney, as well. Come out, check us out, man. It's a show you're not gonna want to miss. We're gonna give tribute to Brentwood. Nice. Like I said, that was one of his last shows he did up in Northern California. That one and the one in Woodland, and like I said, he packed that place up for us. It was kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, just be safe out there, guys. If you guys are gonna continue to protest, do it safely. Respect the law enforcement out there too. You got to remember they're part of us too. They have a job to do, and that's to protect. Now, if they're rude and being asses, record them. Yeah, record them. Let's get them out of their seats. We can easily get them fired and get them out of. We don't. There's no room for corrupt cops. They serve a purpose for us as well, to protect us. So if they want to be helpful and help our young generation, make sure it's safe for them when they protest. That's beautiful. But if you're gonna go out there in riot gear, stay home, man. Don't do. I mean, unless it's a riot going on, but don't
be a good role model.
Yeah, be a good role model. Yeah. Like I said, you got to respect cops, because without that uniform, they're us. Yeah. And vice versa. I tell the cops, when you look at a guy all dressed like a homeboy or something, hey man, learn how that person is. He's probably not that person you think he is. So, but anyways, thank you guys for coming down, man. I know it's a quick thing, something that me and Flavio talked about. We gotta address
current events, man.
Yes, the current event. Yeah,
right.
Yep. Like I said, I mean, it's gonna get better if the Mexican president works together with Trump, and Trump just keep your mouth shut, man. I mean, shit, you're our president, motherfucker. Like, dude, just speak right, man. I mean, he didn't have that. And you know what? I would respect him more if he put all his money away for a whole year. He came on and worked like us for a whole year. That I would have mad respect for him. Yeah. But I know that ain't gonna happen. Yeah. But anyways, so you'll never know what it is to suffer or to be scared. He'll never know. I mean, he might have been scared when they were trying to lock him up. Yeah. But other than that, people suffer crossing borders.
He's a criminal. Man, bro.
Yeah.
I know. That's
criminal. He's bankruptcy 7-8 times, bro. Yeah. So, I mean, he knows how to be that. Yeah. But put him in a hole somewhere where he's going to be scared for his life, which half of these people that trying to cross this border happen. Right. They're walking through those deserts or just trying to cross over here in fear of the person crossing them and the person catching them. That's like a double jeopardy of fear, man. Yeah. And then once you make it here, you're like, yes, I made it here. You start working, everything's good. Oh, now they're coming back for you. What? I've worked hard. I'm and one thing I want to address too, that he had addressed, all that money goes to Mexico and
Oh yeah.
So who cares where the money goes? So
they're with that being said, in Florida, they're trying to say that if they're going to be IDing people who are sending money back. That in Florida, that if you try to send money back to other countries outside of the United States, they're going to ID to make sure that you're legal. And if you're not legal, you're not going to be able to send money.
Wow.
Yeah, that's happening in Florida right now.
Yeah, but Florida's fucked up. Florida, they have a fucked up governor or whatever the fuck.
Well, I mean, Ron Santi, right? So
wasn't he the one that said, any immigrant, get them out of here?
But
basically.
But once again, it's just business, right? It's just business, right? Because there's a lot other things. They're sending money back to their countries because they're making it here. They're providing over there, and trying to make a better life.
That's your money. You work for it. That's your money.
Yeah, exactly. So
you gonna tell me how to spend my money?
You
can't go to a strip joint no more.
Okay, real quick. Do you know
buy beer?
Did you know before it said "In God We Trust" on the money, it was mind your business.
Right.
That was the first saying on the money. United States money was mind your business.
That's right.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry what I'm doing with my money. Mind your own.
Right. And that's crazy, man. Because to do something like that, I mean, it's
once again fear. Make because now I mean it's sad because you have these I
think what they want is they just want all of us not to work anymore and get welfare.
Well, they want us to be dependent on the system.
Yeah, might as well. We'll just go out there and just be a bum like they like bums, man. I mean,
then the system will break.
And then that's it. We'll just end up like a third world country,
I mean, that's why you get these people, talking, oh, my tax money's. Yes, but these people work as well. They're paying taxes.
Yeah.
They pay their taxes, and they don't do tax returns, so they don't get none of that money back, right? And first and foremost, if you are getting money back, you're stupid because you're just lending the government money without interest. So I mean, I don't want to go down that route, but you know what I'm saying? It's like that's what it's all about, and this whole that's why everyone's rooting for Donald Trump because of the tax. He wants to reform tax, get rid of taxes, which is. I mean,
lower taxes and raise tariffs.
Yeah, right.
Rob from Peter to pay Paul.
But, But getting back to we need to educate our children, as you stated, how to be financially stable.
Come on.
You know what I mean? That's what they're not teaching us in school. They're teaching us 1 + 1 is 2, but they don't know that that $2 can make you $500 if you know how to implement it, right?
And that's something that I've always thought about, man. Like, why don't they teach that? But anyways,
because they need slaves. Rockefeller said, "I need a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers."
Damn. Yeah.
Well, and how to create entrepreneurs.
Right.
Right.
Because remember when we used to talk about job,
Yeah.
the word job,
Job. Oh yeah. Do you know what the job JLB
stands for?
No.
Journey of the Broke?
Journey of the broke. Okay.
That's it.
You're always
Because
gonna
all
be
you-
broke.
Okay.
Yeah, because every paycheck you get is to pay
Yeah.
bills, to pay
Yeah.
everybody. Just keep paying bills. And when you pay those bills got to pay
That's
the
it.
government too. And you know what amazes me as well is when you get your check, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pull money off your check. So hey, that money's yours now, right?
Yeah. Right.
But no, then you got to go buy a bottle of water, and they tax you on that.
Yeah.
So now you got to give more tax money.
Yeah.
And then you drink it and you want to sell it,
Yeah.
the plastic for 5 cents. You sell it for 5 cents, but guess what? You got to pay tax because you just made 5 cents off the bottle.
Yeah.
So where does it end?
It's a never-ending circle.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
It's business.
It's just business,
It's
baby.
just business.
This business.
baby.
My father once said.
We're back in business, boys.
Yeah, my father once said, he goes, $1 isn't yours. 40 cents of it is.
Yep.
The other 60 belongs to the government. When you go to Mexico, $1 is yours. The whole dollar is yours. That's the difference with Mexico. Like, then again, that's the reason why Mexico is the way it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that you need that tax money to do things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so it is important for us to teach our children about, financial literacy, right? And create businesses, right? Become entrepreneurs, because check this out, man. You don't need a college degree to create a business, but you need a college degree to work in a business.
That's right.
Imagine that. Why? Because we don't want stupid people running our business.
Right. Well, if you think about it, the majority of the rich,
That they don't. Yeah.
they've never been in school.
That's what Carnegie, he's the one that came with the steel, right? Steel mills.
Yeah.
He surrounded himself with people that knew he didn't know nothing about
Right.
steel.
That's the way it is. It's called, everybody, anybody and everybody, they surround themselves around people that know what they want,
Yeah.
and they build it.
Because the saying goes, if I'm the smartest man in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Right.
I'm in the wrong room. Because you need to surround yourself with higher individuals than yourself, because you want to get to that next level.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what we need to teach our children.
Yep.
It's like, okay, if you're smarter than everyone else, then time for you to go look for another room. Seek more higher intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, just one last shout out to the youth out there.
Yeah.
That really have the courage and the strength, right, to just do what they did, man. That's very powerful. I personally, thought that was very powerful, which I was more than honored to say, yes, I'll be there with you guys, man. So I just want to, put a shout out to the youth, man.
And if you can think it, make it happen. You know what I mean? Don't let no one tell you can't do it unless it's illegal.
That's right. That's right.
And then I'll do it.
That's right.
Because
just keep fighting, man. Just
it.
keep running these protests. Make your voice heard. Again, just be safe. Be safe out there. Respect one another. Respect the law. Respect everybody, man. Everybody's human. Everybody wants to go home.
Yeah.
So don't create something to cause havoc out there. Don't break windows. Don't just
peaceful protest.
Yeah, no destruction, man. Let's show them that we're as powerful as they are.
Right.
Just because little words they say and things they're doing, we could do the same thing.
Right.
Awareness as well. If you see something that doesn't look right, film it. Let the world know about it.
Right. That's right.
All right.
And like always, right? We're gonna stay low. Street low.
Stay low.
Street low. Remember, March 9th, Salinas, California,
That's it.
2025. And remember,
Support.
Oh,
she'll be here.
Right on.
She'll be here. Nikki will be here for the car show.
So go ahead and support, guys. I still got a couple left. I didn't make too many, but go to www.streetlowmagazine.com. Once again, thank you, Flavio, for putting it together, and Teleku.
Thank you.
And Gorilla.
Thank you.
Right. Good night, guys.